This is lesson 409, a spelling dictation lesson. These words I dictate will all be 2 syllables, and they will contain vowel group 4, 5, or 6 teams. Vowel group 4 is when 2 vowels join together, form a team, and the first vowel makes its long sound. It says its name. Vowel group 5 is when a vowel plus the letter R join together and form a team and make a special sound that's not long or short. AR is R as in car. ER is as in her. EAR, as in herd. IR, as in bird. UR, as in burn. And or as in corn. Notice ER, EAR, IR, and UR all represent the same sound. EAR is only a team representing the sound when EAR is followed by a consonant sound. Otherwise, EA will form a team, usually vowel group 4, and R will represent its consonant sound. Vowel group 6 is when 2 vowels join together and the first vowel does not say its name. AU and AW represent the same sound, aw. EW can represent one of 2 sounds. U as in few, where you would underline at one time. EW also has a second sound, oo, as in new. When EW represents the sound oo, double underline EW. OI, OY, oi. OO has 2 sounds, oo as in boot and as in foot. When OO represents its second sound, double underline it. OU and OW both represent the same sound, ow. Notice we have a number of teams with the letter W, AW, EW, and OW. W is part of the vowel team. In these instances, it is not considered a vowel when it joins together with the vowel in front of it. This is the marking procedure we use to analyze the phonetic components within the word. Step 1, we underline all consonant and vowel teams. Double underline letters or letter teams making their second sounds. Underline the silent E at the end of a syllable or word. Next, we place dots under our vowel sounds to identify our vowel sounds. If we have 2 or more vowel sounds, then we have to divide the word into syllables, and we apply our syllable rule number to indicate why we are dividing where we do in the word. And then finally, we assign vowel group numbers to the vowels that represent sounds within the word. I'm going to dictate 10 rows of words, starting with row 1. Bloomer, bloomer. She is a very late bloomer, bloomer. Blue, 3 sounds, b, ul, oo. Myrrh, 2 sounds, bloomer. Step 1, let's look for teams. Step 2, identify vowel sounds. Step 3, divide the word into syllables. We have 2 vowel sounds, so we have a 2-syllable word. We apply syllable rule 1 because we have 1 consonant between our vowels. We divide after the first vowel and before the consonant. Now we assign vowel group numbers to our vowel sounds. Bloomer. Outside. Outside. Let's go outside. Out. 2 sounds. Ow. T. Side. 3 sounds. S. I. D. Outside. First, we look for teams. If a letter represents its second sound, double underline it. If we have a silent E at the end of the syllable or word, underline that silent E. Here we have a team OU and a silent E at the end of the word. Next, we identify vowel sounds. 2 vowel sounds, so we have a 2-syllable word. Next, we apply syllable rule division. Syllable rule 2 is in effect here because we have 2 consonants between our vowels. And when that happens, we divide between the first and second consonant. Now, if we were to have 3 consonants between the vowels, we still would divide between the first and second consonants. Finally, we assign a vowel group number to each of our vowel sounds. Outside, outside. Outgrowth. Outgrowth. The outgrowth from that company has caused many houses to be built. Outgrowth. Out, two sounds. Ow, t. Growth. Four sounds. G, r, o, th. Outgrowth. First, let's identify our teams in this word. We have three teams, OU, OW, and TH. Next, we identify our vowel sounds. Now we apply syllable division. And finally, we assign vowel group numbers to our vowel sounds. Outgrowth. Now notice GR in this word is a blend. And we don't mark blends in our marking system except when we have to lock the two letters or possibly three letters together in the blend so it's not divided into separate syllables. But we don't mark it here because GR is not in any danger of being split up into the first and second syllables. So in that instance, we don't mark it. We only mark blends when we have to protect the letters so they don't get divided into separate syllables. The next word is pointer. Pointer. Let me give you a pointer or two. Pointer. Poin, three sounds. P, oi, n. Ter, two sounds. T, Pointer. At this point, I want you to pause the video, mark the word completely. Once you have done so, advance the video to see if you've marked it correctly. Pointer. Row 2, arcade. Arcade. The children played in the arcade for hours. Arcade. First syllable is one sound, R. Cade, three sounds, K, A, D. Arcade. Now again, pause the video, mark the word. Once you've completed doing so, advance the video. Arcade. Rainbow. Rainbow. Make a wish when you see a rainbow in the sky. Rainbow. This is a compound word. A compound word is two words that join together to create a new word. Rain, three sounds, R, A, N. Bow, two sounds, B, O. Rainbow. Mark the word. Rainbow. Forebode. Forebode. Forebode means to act as a warning. Forebode. For has three sounds. F, O, Bode, three sounds. B, O, D. Forebode. Mark the word. Forebode. Perfume. Perfume. That perfume smells very nice. Per has two sounds. P, Fume, three sounds. F, U, M. Perfume. Mark the word. Perfume. Row 3, beeline. Beeline. We made a beeline for the exit. Beeline. B has two sounds. B, E. Line, three sounds. L, I, N. Beeline. Mark the word. Beeline. Sailboat. Sailboat. Someday I would like to own a sailboat. Sail has three sounds. S, A, L. Boat, three sounds. B, O, T. Sailboat. Mark the word. Sailboat. Forsake. Forsake. I will forsake the bonus this year. Forsake. For, two sounds. F, or. Sake, three sounds. S, A, K. Forsake. Mark the word. Forsake. Storeroom. Storeroom. Place the box in the storeroom. Storeroom. The first syllable is store, and we're going to exaggerate the pronunciation just a bit to conform to the spelling, and we're going to say stower. And this has 4 sounds: s, t, o, r. Room has 3 sounds: r, u, m. Store, room. Mark the word. Store, room. In the first syllable, we underline E, it's silent, and then because of that, we're going to call this a vowel group 3 construction and put a 3 under the O. Now, you might wonder, why not just underline OR and call it vowel group 5? Well, actually, you could do that. This marking system is not set in stone. It's simply a mechanism that I'm presenting to you so that you have a way to organize phonetically the elements in a word so that you can spell the word correctly by analyzing the word for its phonetic sounds and also mentally pronouncing the word as close as possible to the way the word is spelled. Now let's go back for just a minute and look at a word that we just spelled, forsake. Now forsake and storeroom are very similar. They are both compound words, but in this word we don't have a silent E at the end of the first syllable. So OR has to be a vowel group 5 team here. But again, to contrast it with storeroom, in storeroom we do have a silent E at the end of the syllable. So that changes the construction of that syllable. So we're going to mark it that way. In reality, you could say OR is representing the sound or, and you would be right. But we simply mark it this way so you can remember that silent E at the end of that syllable in the word storeroom. That's the logic behind the way we mark storeroom versus forsake. Row 4, airmail. Airmail. I sent the letter by airmail. Air has 2 sounds, a, Mail, 3 sounds, a, l. Air, mail. Mark the word. Air, mail. Perspire. Perspire. I will perspire when I finish the run. Perspire. Per has 2 sounds, p, Spire has 4 sounds, s, p, I, Perspire. Mark the word. Perspire. Notice we have an SP blend here, and we put half circles under the S and the P to lock those 2 letters together to protect it, the blend, so it's not split up into separate syllables. Otherwise, we don't mark blends, except in that instance. Outburst. Outburst. The student had quite an outburst in class. Outburst. Out, 2 sounds. Ow, t. Burst, 4 sounds. B, s, t. Outburst. Mark the word. Outburst. Speaker. Speaker. The speaker today is very famous. Speaker. Spe has 3 sounds. S, p, e. Cur, 2 sounds. K, Speaker. Mark the word. Speaker. Row 5, cartoon. Cartoon. The cartoon on TV was not very interesting. Cartoon. Car, 2 sounds. K, r. Tune, 3 sounds. T, u, n. Cartoon. Mark the word. Cartoon. Notice OO here is representing its first sound, its primary sound, oo as in boot. The second sound for OO is as in foot. In that instance, you would double underline it. But here we underline it once because it represents its primary sound, oo. Scooter. Scooter. The boy went on his scooter. Scooter. Scoo, 3 sounds. S, k, oo. Ter, 2 sounds. T, Scooter. Mark the word. Scooter. Namesake. Namesake. His namesake gave him a nice gift at his wedding. Namesake. Name, 3 sounds. A, Sake, 3 sounds. S, A, K. Namesake. Mark the word. Namesake. Boyhood. Boyhood. He had a happy boyhood. Boy has 2 sounds. B, oi. Hood, 3 sounds. H, d. Boyhood. Mark the word. Boyhood. Here, OO is representing its second sound, so we double underline it. Row 6. Bridegroom. Bridegroom. The bridegroom was extremely nervous. Bridegroom. Bride, 4 sounds. B, r, I, d. Groom, 4 sounds. G, r, u, m. Bride, groom. Mark the word. Bride, groom. Again, we have a blend, GR. We protect it by putting half circles under the G and the R. Trooper. Trooper. She is a real trooper about the problems they are facing. Trooper. True, 3 sounds. T, r, u. Per has 2 sounds. P, True, per. Mark the word. True, per. Outlay. Outlay. They had quite an outlay for the banquet. Outlay. Out, 2 sounds. Ow, t. Lay, 2 sounds. Ol, a. Outlay. Mark the word. Outlay. Verbose. Verbose. He gave a long-winded, verbose response. Ver has 2 sounds. V, Bose, 3 sounds. B, o, s. Verbose. Mark the word. Verbose. Row 7. Curtail. Curtail. We will have to curtail some of our activities. Curtail. Cur, 2 sounds. K, Tail, 3 sounds. T, a, ol. Curtail. Mark the word. Curtail. Owner. Owner. Will the owner please move the car? Owner. O, 1 sound. Ner, 2 sounds. N, O, ner. Mark the word. O, ner. Cloudburst. Cloudburst. There was a sudden cloudburst this afternoon. Cloud, 4 sounds. K, ul, ow, d. Burst, 4 sounds. B, s, t. Cloud burst. Mark the word. Cloud burst. Boomer. Boomer. The baby boomer loved his toys. Boomer. Boo, 2 sounds. B, oo. Mer, 2 sounds. Boomer. Mark the word. Boomer. Row 8. Cooler. Cooler. Put plenty of ice in our cooler. Cooler. Coo, 2 sounds. K, oo. Lur, 2 sounds. Ul, Cooler. Mark the word. Cooler. Sideboard. Sideboard. Place the turkey on the sideboard. Side, 3 sounds. S, I, d. Board. Now this syllable we exaggerate just a bit and we say board. And it has 4 sounds. B, o, d. Sideboard. Mark the word. Sideboard. Remember, the spelling technique is you pronounce the word mentally to yourself as you're spelling it so that it conforms as much as possible to the spelling. Obviously, in conversation, we just say sideboard. But for spelling, we say sideboard. Ornate. Ornate. The door was decorated in a very ornate fashion. Or, 1 sound. Nate, three sounds. N, A, T. Ornate. Mark the word. Ornate. Launder. Launder. The criminal enterprise would try to launder illegal money. Launder. Lawn. Three sounds. L, A, N. Der. Two sounds. D, Launder. Mark the word. Launder. Row 9. Foretaste. Foretaste. This is just a foretaste of what's in store for us. Foretaste. For, three sounds. F, O, Taste. Four sounds. T, A, S, T. Foretaste. Mark the word. Foretaste. Now here in the first syllable, again we have a silent E, so we're going to mark the first syllable as a syllable rule 3 under the O. OR here really is making the same sound as a vowel group 5 team would make, or. But because we have the silent E in this syllable, we're going to mark it in the way that you see. Sailor. Sailor. The sailor set out to the sea. Sailor. Now for spelling, we're going to say say-lor. And the first syllable say has two sounds. S, A. Lor, two sounds. L, or. Say-lor. Mark the word. Say-lor. So again, in conversation, we would say sailor, but for spelling, say-lor. Portray. Portray. I hope you portray him in a fair manner. Portray. Pour, two sounds. P, or. Tray, three sounds. T, r, a. Portray. Mark the word. Portray. We have the consonant blend TR to protect here, to lock the letters together, so we put a half circle under the T and the R. Boarder. Boarder. The boarder paid his full month's rent in advance. Boarder. We're going to exaggerate this sound slightly and say boarder. The first syllable is boer, and it has three sounds. B, O, Der, two sounds. D, Boarder. Mark the word. Boarder. And again, obviously we say border, but for spelling we say boarder. It's a little exaggerated, but it does conform to the actual spelling of the word. And we have our final row 10, harpoon. Harpoon. They shot a harpoon into the large fish. Harpoon. Har, two sounds. H, R. Poon, three sounds. P, U, N. Harpoon. Mark the word. Harpoon. Cookbook. Cookbook. Someday I should write a cookbook. Cookbook. Cook, three sounds. K, k. Book, three sounds. B, k. Cook, book. Mark the word. Cook, book. Here, OO in both syllables is representing its second sound, so double underline OO in both syllables. Flounder. Flounder. The troop began to flounder in the difficult terrain. Flounder. Floun, four sounds. F, ow, n. Der, two sounds. D, Flounder. Mark the word. Flounder. Weaver. Weaver. The weaver began to work on the new project. Weaver. We has two sounds. W, E. Ver, two sounds. V, Weaver. Mark the word. Weaver. And this completes the dictation of the words from lesson 409.